So, Gatekeeper, Stormborn, Map 4, Tier 25. Going to be using a different team now. Going to be using Hook, Olaf, and Elsa. I've spoken about Elsa and Olaf in a previous video. Elsa's just great because she does defense down over time. She also can root the enemy, can apply freeze. The freeze is great because it's direct damage against the enemy's HP rather than any armor and stuff like that. And because she's ranged and Olaf is support, they can sometimes miss the Gatekeeper, just one of the Stormborn's special abilities here. Hook is going to be my main damage dealer here. Basically, I'm running his basic 1, basic 2, which are attack and focus, so should help him do more damage. And then I believe it's his advanced 2 ability, which is the wound. I am avoiding the stun as well as the heal block because neither of those two will affect the Gatekeeper. But with this team, I am going to pot up a bit. Part of it's just for survivability, because one of the most frustrating things about this Gatekeeper is that on the first turn, they will sometimes directly target the top fighter. And if they target that fighter, they are usually heavy locking into the enemy. And if they heavy lock into the Gatekeeper, they are going to get hit. So I need to make sure that they have enough HP so that they don't die in the first attack. Olaf, again, really great. The attack, focus, and heal from his Hearth Glimmers, and then just the healing overall. He also gives Icy Touch, so we can apply freeze to the enemy, and boost freeze and burn damage. Freeze damage especially is good for this one, because we have Elsa and Olaf, of course. Moving Elsa in, moving Olaf up, controlling Hook, gonna mark the enemy. By marking the enemy, when I use his special, I'm going to do more damage against him. We're about to use it, so we're gonna see 1800, that's not a ton, but the good thing is Elsa is going to help out with damage over time. She is going to apply defense down every 10 seconds to the Gatekeeper for 10 times, so over 100 seconds. So what is that, a minute and 40? Yeah, a minute 40. So we can see already that my damage is slowly going up. We can see more defense down abilities on the Gatekeeper. I am actually going to take this opportunity to move Elsa back. Okay, I moved her back. I used her special. That stops her from being heavy locked, which is great. It gave me the opportunity to push that electric field back because the Gatekeeper will only apply the electric field to the Guardian that's farthest away, which is why when you only have one Guardian left, you don't want to be right on top of the Gatekeeper if it's a melee or it's a tank. Oh, that was so annoying. And I got hit. I'm gonna probably get hit again. Hopefully my hook's high enough. Okay, so I'm not gonna get hit again, so that's good. Okay, we're recovering. We're in recovery right now. I want to push Elsa all the way back. By pushing Elsa back, you see I set that up so it's farther away from me, so I don't have to worry about it as much. Go back to controlling Hook. We are going to try to do as much damage as we can. The Gatekeeper should be jumping soon. There we go. Because I think we've done the 25% each damage against them. And now we want to hit that 5% marker. Gotta move Guardians out of the way. Healing is good. Going to hit him in the back. 1960, so you can see we're doing more damage. That's unfortunate to lose Olaf. Basically means we have no more healing. So we are going to be struggling a little bit to make sure that we get to that 5%, because like shocks and whatnot are going to constantly do damage. It is going to be an uphill battle, but we're going to keep on going because I think we can do it with Elsa and Hook. Obviously, every run that you do against the Gatekeeper is going to be a little different. There's a little bit different types of RNG that can take place. If you end up shocked, I believe it's 3 times or have 3 shocks on you, then you're stunned. If you are stun locked, your character is going to die. There is a very small chance that you're going to survive, which is very unfortunate and very frustrating as well, because you can only control so much. The AI is not great. The AI does its best, kind of, but it doesn't feel like it does its best. It's just a very frustrating aspect of the game, especially against the Gatekeeper. you see your fighters run back into those electrical fields all the time. And there we go. So he jumped. So we know for sure we're doing at least 6%. We are going to try to get to 7%. I'm not actually going to be able to know, which is a little unfortunate because I didn't check my score, so how much percentage I've done against the Gatekeeper. I have completely forgotten to do that. So that's my bad. And I'm stuck, yeah. Okay, that's not a big deal. I was going to use his special, of course, to do extra damage. That's not going to happen. Got hit by the shocks. That's at least 6% though against the Gatekeeper. I'm still pretty happy with that. It was a pretty big punch up. And again, anything above 5% I think is pretty decent once you get up into the mid-20 tiers, because there's usually a significant power jump in the Gatekeeper. So like here, if we take a look, he's level 400. But if we go, let's go back one. I believe he's like 320 or something like that. 300. So between tier 24 and 25, there is a 100 level jump. And if we take a look moving back, like the jumps between levels is more moderate. So like that's a 40 level jump. What's this at? Like a 16 level jump. What is this one at? Last one was 244, 236, so 8. So you can see like the jump between levels is not as significant in some cases, like between tiers. There are a few major jumps in power that you'll kind of get used to as you continue to play and stuff. You'll notice when the power jumps actually occur. I thought there was one around 16 or 17 as well. 188. 176. So not really, I guess. I thought there was one other one, but maybe I'm wrong. But right now I've done 292% against the Gatekeeper. I have a few different teams that I like to use. So this last one that I used, this is the first time I've used it actually. I've seen a lot of different team comps from a lot of different people. I've used several different team comps. Like I've tried Kermit and Hades and Elsa. I feel like this team with Cruella instead of Hades would also be decent. One thing I find frustrating is that when I use Hades, I believe he should be able to inflict burn. So critical hits deal burn to the enemy. Now, I find at higher tiers, you're less likely to perform a critical hit, even when you have a way to like boost your crit. So like this is focus. Focus increases your critical chance. So while increasing the damage the critical hit does. So it increases the damage and increases the chance, which is nice. But like with Hades, he just doesn't end up burning the enemy very often unless he's using his special ability, which I think is almost a little silly. Because, like, Hades, when you think about him, he's all about burn. Like, look at him. He just burns. Yeah, burn. Extra damage against burning enemies. Yeah, Hades' special ability inflicts a burn. All of Hades' burns increased. Yeah, it's just super frustrating. Like, I would have thought he would have done more burns, but he doesn't. Another team option I've seen is Stitch Hades. Oh, sorry, not this. Stitch, Hades, and Elsa. Because Stitch can burn the enemy when he goes, Molten, I believe it is. So that can synergize well in with Hades as well. I think any teams that use some damage over time abilities like Burn or Wound are going to excel. Let's see. I've also seen, and I've tried using Bob, Elsa, and probably Olaf. I really don't like running two melee or ranged on the same team. I just think like there's no way to ensure that you're always capturing the enemy's aggro, and having to swap between fighters is still challenging, and sometimes it's just not advantageous, because if any of your characters are heavy locking in on the Gatekeeper, you are stuck in that animation even if you choose to control them, which means your character is probably going to die. Now, I make up weird teams. I know that. I try to make synergistic teams and stuff like that. And a lot of people I know use Violet on their team and then say Olaf and, I don't know, Hook, Hades, Gaston, Cruella, maybe even Beast, maybe Woody. because Woody can increase damage, actually. He has a unique ability on him. Oh, he is way down here. Like, if the enemy has a warrant or something like that. Nope, that's not it. I believe there is a way that he is actually boosting damage as long as he's alive, though. Well, yeah, so this part at the top is kind of interesting. Melee and ranged, but ranged are likely to miss. Health, not a big deal. Extra damage if they have a warrant or a villainous. Basic and heavy attacks deal an extra, so that could actually be useful. Can't pull the Gatekeeper, so wouldn't use that. Whenever an enemy gains a warrant, cleanse an attribute debuff. So this last one, so favorite deputies, Frontier Justice, and Roundup Gang are probably the best abilities to use for Woody. I might try him out if I can level him a bit, but I think you could potentially make an interesting team like this, maybe. Now, the thinking would be if Woody puts a warrant on the enemy, then, Elsa can do extra damage against the Gatekeeper, as can Woody. But Woody is a pretty low level, and because Elsa's ranged, she's not going to hit as often. So is it making up the difference enough? And I don't have an answer for that. A lot of it's just, trial by fire. You try it out and you see what happens, and you hope that it's a good result. Anyway, thanks guys for listening to me ramble on.